This conference will now be recorded.
So this was our last class. We were trying to talk about this free of charge concept over here. And when we talk about this free of charge, I was trying to basically mention like how company is going to be offering the goods for free to the customer. So we have discussed this particular topic in full, and I was trying to basically mention a point called as a pro forma invoice. So whenever you try to go for issuing of a stock, we need to make sure there is an invoice sent along with that. Okay, so how to issue a pro forma invoice when you're trying to work out with this free of charge concept. We have discussed that one in detailed manner over here. The next concept where we are going to be focusing on is going to be the condition technique. That's going to be the next concept, condition technique. How to deal with this particular topic over here, condition technique. Now, when we talk about this condition technique, there are going to be different scenarios which are going to be running on it. First, let me try to name the scenarios on which we work it out, and then later I'm going to be explaining it, how you need to use it. Okay, so like first concept, what we are going to be discussing it is going to be listing and exclusion functionality. These are going to be two different scenarios. We try to learn this one. Then a concept of cross-selling. Okay, so once you know how to work with this cross-selling, we try to work with the pricing part. So after this particular pricing, we are going to be dealing with a concept called as free goods. This also is going to be a part of your pricing. This is but nothing but a different business scenario. We are trying to work it out. And then we try to look into a concept called as accounts determination. Like this is going to be done with reference to SD-FI integration. And we have a concept by the name output determination. Last and final one would be a concept rebates. These are all going to be the topics what we are going to be learning on this particular condition technique. So each and every concept is going to be having an importance. Each and every concept is going to be having an importance. So we need to know how it works out over here. We need to know how it works out. Okay, so first thing, I'm just trying to give you the definition of this condition technique, what you mean by this and how it's going to be worked out. Now, when we talk about this condition technique over here, when we talk about this condition technique, like now first, I'm just trying to explain you the definition, what we maintain it. The condition technique is nothing but where it is going to be made up of condition procedure. Condition technique is going to be made up of this condition procedure, and this condition procedure consists of condition types to work out. There are going to be different condition types, and to each and every condition type we try to make sure there is an access sequence assigned to it. For each and every condition type we make sure there is an access sequence assigned to it, where this access sequence will be acting as search strategy. Now, what you mean by this search strategy also, I'm going to be explaining it to you. So at the moment, just try to work. Condition technique is made up of condition procedure. This condition procedure consists of condition types. To this condition types, we assign an access sequence, where access sequence is going to be acting as a search strategy. And to this access sequence, we try to go for assigning of condition tables. We try to go for assigning of condition tables over here. And using these particular tables, we try to go for maintenance of condition records. Using these tables, we try to go for maintenance of condition records over here. Okay, so these are going to be the different steps involved in our condition technique process. Condition technique is made up of condition procedure. Condition procedure consists of condition types. To condition types, we assign an access sequence, where access sequence is going to be acting as a search strategy. And to this access sequence, we assign condition table. And using this particular tables, we try to go for maintenance of our condition records over here. We try to maintain condition records. These are going to be the steps involved in our condition technique process. So if anybody asks, like, this is what you need to explain. I'm just trying to repeat it once again. Condition technique is made up of condition procedure. Condition procedure consists of condition types. To condition types, we assign an access sequence, where access sequence will be acting as a search strategy. Okay. And to this access sequence, we try to assign condition tables. Using these tables, we try to go for maintenance of our condition records over here. Using these tables, we try to go for maintenance of condition records. Okay, so these are going to be the steps involved in our condition technique process. To explain this particular steps, each and every step, I'm trying to work with first concept, which is going to be the listing functionality. I'm trying to work out with the listing process over here. Now, what you mean by this listing process and how it works out? Now, this is nothing but what all products company want to sell it to the customer, maintain it in the form of condition records. What all products company want to sell it to the customer, we are going to be maintaining it in the form of condition records over here. Okay, a simple statement. What all products company want to sell it to the customer, maintain it in the form of condition records. Now, what you mean by this particular statement? Now, let's say if company is trying to sell around 100 different materials. So let's say not 100, I'm just trying to take around 10 different materials. We have 10 different materials, what company is trying to sell it. Okay, now we have two customers, like Sam is one customer, John is one customer. Now Sam, out of this 10, can place an order only for few products. Let's say he can place an order for material 1 and he can place an order for material 6 and material 7. So apart from these, if he's trying to place an order for any other material, it will be rejected. It will be rejected. Okay. So Sam can place out of this 10 only these 3 materials. Apart from these, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it will be rejected. Okay. In the same way, now John can place an order only for few materials, like material 1, material 6, material 8, and material 9. So John can place an order only for these 4. Apart from these, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it will be rejected once again. Okay, now what user is going to be doing? User is going to be maintaining a record, because user can't remember which product need to be sold to the customer, which product need to be ignored. So what we do, we try to go for maintenance of a record over here. So in that record, we are going to be specifying which product can be sold to the customer. We are going to be maintaining a record saying that for Sam, these are the only these material will be sold. For John, these are the materials which will be sold. So apart from that, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it is going to be rejected over here. Okay, so that's what you mean by listing process. Like what all products you want to sell it to the customer, we try to maintain it. How? By maintaining a condition record. Whatever products maintained in the condition record, only those products are going to be sold. Apart from that, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it is going to be getting rejected completely. This is what we need to do. We need to map this particular functionality into SAP application. Now, how to map it? For that only, we are going to be taking the help of this condition technique process over here, where we are going to be following all the steps involved in it. We are going to be following all the steps involved in it. So first step, Now, whenever you try to explain the concept, it is going to be from condition procedure to condition records, top to bottom. Condition procedure, condition type, access sequence, condition tables, and maintenance of record. There's a format in which you need to explain it. Whereas now when you try to work out on the system, it's going to be the reverse format. Like first step is going to be starting with the table creation. We try to start working with the table and then access sequence, condition type, condition procedure, and finally we try to go for working out with the record maintenance. Okay, we work in a different way. So here the first step is going to be the condition tables. So how to create a table. Now why we need to create this particular table? This table is used for maintenance of the record over here. Table is required for maintenance of the record. Now here I'm going to be creating a table using two fields, customer and the material, because we want to maintain for which customer, which material need to be sold, right? So I'm going to be taking this particular format. Customer and material is the fields which I'm going to be selecting it for maintenance of the record. So here, customer and material. These are the two fields which I'm going to be using it. For which customer, what product need to be sold. That's how it's going to be working. Okay. So here, let me try to go by the path for this. So it is not advised to remember the transaction code because we are going to be using this functionality again and again. It would be better if you go by the path. So let me try to log in into the system and show you how to go by the path for this. Now, so as I mentioned, it's a part of SD consultant job role. We need to work from the backend. So if you get into SPRO, IMG, now get into sales and distribution module over here. Now under the sales and distribution is a part of basic functions. Is a part of basic functions. So if you get into this basic functions, get into listing and exclusion. There's a step what we are trying to work it out. So listing and exclusion. So if you click on this particular IMG activity, so these are going to be the different steps which are involved in it. These are going to be the different steps which are involved in it. Okay, where first step we are trying to work out create condition tables. Create condition tables. So for listing and exclusion, it's going to be the same path you're going to be following it. Okay, so first we are trying to work out with the listing process and then we try to work out with the exclusion functionality. So I'm just trying to select the first step over here, maintain condition tables for listing and exclusion. This is the step we need to work out. Maintain condition tables for listing and exclusion over here. So if you double click on it, this how the screen is going to be looking. And there's a transaction code OV06. If you can remember the transaction codes, you can, otherwise you can ignore it. And right now we are under change mode. In change mode, we are not going to be creating any kind of tables. So to create a tables, always we need to get into create mode. So to get into create mode, click on conditions from the menu bar and get into create mode. Okay, now here we need to create a table. Now, no need to maintain any table number. No need to maintain any table number. System is going to be generating a table number. Okay, no need to create or maintain any table number. System will generate a table number. And we have two set of tables, standard tables and the customized table. So if you see any table number below 500, we call it as a standard table over here. If you see any table number below 500, we call it as a standard table. So if you see table number above 500, we are going to be calling it as a customized table. If you see any table number above 500, customized one. Below 500, standard one. Please remember these 2 points. Okay, so right now we are going to be working with a customized one. So system will generate a table number for that. The only thing you need to do, nothing to do, simply click on enter. It will be taking us to the screens. And this how the screen is going to be looking, where you can see the total screen has been divided into 2 halves. Like one, we call it as a selected fields, and second one is a field catalog. Second one is a field catalog. So from this particular field catalog, we need to select the fields. What all fields are there in SD module, all that fields are going to be getting displayed up. So if you want to get into the next page, simply click on this page down or page up icons. It will be taking us. That's how you try to navigate it. That's how you try to navigate it. Now, from this particular field catalog, I'm going to be selecting 2 fields which is required for table creation. But first field is going to be the customer. First field is going to be the customer, and each and every field there is going to be a field name maintained. For each and every field there will be a field name maintained. So you need to know how to see the field name. Then only you will be identifying whether you are trying to work out with the right field or not. To look for the field name, so click on this field attributes over here. So if you click on this field attributes, you can see the field name is displayed as Kunar over here. For customer, what is the field name? Kunar. These are all going to be the technical names, and these are all going to be the standards. Okay, these are all going to be the standards. So for customer, technical name is going to be Kunar. So if you want to communicate anything to the ABAPA, you need to explain everything with the help of this technical names itself. Okay, so there's a field name for customer Kunar. So once you see, double click on it, and it will be getting copied up into our selected fields over here. It will be getting copied up into our selected fields. So from this field catalog, we have selected a field called as customer. In the same way, we need to select a second field, which is going to be material over here. To select the second field, so page down, and there's going to be the second field, material. And to check out the field name for this particular material, once again, click on this field attributes. And there's going to be the technical name for material, which has been maintained as Matner, M-A-T-N-R. Matner, M-A-T-N-R. So check out this one as well. For each and every field, there will be a technical name maintained. So you need to know where to go, how to check it out. So you need to select the right field to maintain the records. Okay, so there's our second field, material, for which the field name has been maintained as Matner. So once you know that, double click on it, it will be getting copied up. So from this total field catalog, we have selected 2 fields, one on the name of customer, second one on the name of material over here. So these 2 fields are good enough for me for record maintenance at the moment, because according to our requirement, these fields are done. But based on the client requirement only, you need to select the fields. For this particular scenario, these 2 fields are good. But in real time, based on the client requirement, you need to know what fields need to be selected. So once you select it, click on this wheel icon, generate. So table is going to be getting created if you click on this icon. So click on this icon, generate. Now system is throwing out a warning message saying that already there is one standard table with the help of that particular fields. Because 001 is a standard table because your table number is below 500. As I mentioned, we try to call it as a standard table. It's a standard table. Okay, now what I try to do, I'm going to be ignoring this particular message. We don't want to use any of the standards. We always try to work out with the customized one. So I'm just trying to ignore it. So ignore this particular table, click on enter, and try to create a condition table over here. Try to create a condition table. And to create a condition table, click on this yes option. If you want to create a new condition table, click on this yes option over here. And we are getting our request. And here, this is going to be the table number. And as I mentioned, the table numbers is always going to be above 500. By default, it will be getting displayed. You need to observe this one. So check out this one and click on local objects. Click on local objects over here to save the table. You're not going to be clicking on save icon. You're going to be clicking on local objects to save the table. So click on this local objects over here, and table has been created by number 504, and which is made up of fields, customer, and material. So that's going to be the first thing you need to know. 504 is our table. Okay. Now, once you created a table, second step, we need to work out with an access sequence. That's going to be the second step. Now, for each and every access sequence, there is going to be a code maintained, and that code can be of 4 letters maximum. Access sequence code is going to be of 4 letters maximum length. So here I'm trying to maintain it. Now we are working with Samsung company. So here I'm going to be creating it on the name of Samsung listing is what I'm trying to maintain it. So it stands for listing. There's a description what I want to maintain it. For my access sequence, there's the code and the description. And for this particular access sequence, make sure you try to assign condition table, what we have created in the first step. 504, which is made up of customer and material combination. So this is going to be entirely a chain process. This is going to be entirely a chain process over here. Okay, so first we have created a condition table. Now we are trying to create an access sequence, and to that access sequence, we are going to be assigning the condition table, what we have created. Okay, now how to create this access sequence over here. So if you just come back. So in this particular screen, this is going to be the step we are going to be working it out. Maintain access sequence for listing and exclusion. Maintain access sequence for listing and exclusion. Okay, so if you double click on it, table is a cross point. Now this is the message you're going to be getting it. Okay, what you mean by this table is a cross client? In coming classes, we are going to be looking into it, not at the moment. So try to simply click on continue. It's just a warning message. You can simply click on continue option over here. And what all access sequence has been created will be shown up. This is going to be the standard. A001 is going to be the standard access sequence which has been provided by SAP for listing functionality. Now in this particular screen, how to create our own access sequence. So try to take the help of new entries over here. So whatever code you want to maintain for the access sequence, you can maintain it over here. Okay, so we are trying to maintain it as SLIS, which stands for listing. I'm trying to maintain the description. So simply click on enter. And we are getting a warning message. So system is asking us to provide the confirmation whether we are trying to maintain the right code or not. Whether we are maintaining the right code or not. So simply click on continue option over here. Now to this access sequence, try to assign the table what we have created. Now to assign the table, select this access sequence and click on accesses under dialog structure over here. Click on accesses under dialog structure. Okay, so if you click on this accesses under dialog structure, this how the screen is going to be looking. Now in this particular screen, we need to assign the tables. Now how to assign the tables? We need to take the help of new interest icon over here. To assign the tables, click on new interest icon. Okay, now here we need to maintain it. So where you need to maintain sequence number. First field is nothing but sequence number. I'm maintaining sequence number as 1. and second field is the table. So whatever table we have created just now, we have created a table by the name 504. I'm just trying to assign that particular table over here and simply click on enter. Simply click on enter. So we are going to be getting this particular message. Development class of condition table is local. That's just an information, nothing to do, nothing to remember also. If you get this message, simply click on continue option itself. And we are getting this one. Choose a key from the allowed namespace. Once again, it's just a confirmation. Simply click on enter over here. Now in this particular step, what we have done, we just assign table to our access sequence over here. Now assign our table to the access sequence. Now what I need to do, I need to assign the fields. Fields are not going to be getting assigned directly. We need to do that assignment. We need to assign whatever fields are there in this particular table to our access sequence. We need to assign what all fields maintained in the table to our access sequence. Now how to do that? Select the table what we have created and assigned it and click on fields over here. We're trying to assign the fields which are maintained in the table to our access sequence. So select the table and click on fields under dialog structure over here. Click on fields under dialog structure. Okay, and there's a message we are getting it. So system is saying that field assignment is been not made. That's what we are trying to do. We are trying to assign the fields which are maintained in our access table to our access sequence. So click on continue option over here. Choose a key from the namespace. Just you need to observe whether all the fields maintained in the table has been displayed. No need to do anything. Just observe it. All the fields are getting displayed up or not. You need to observe this one. So customer and material, both the fields are getting displayed up. So check this one and try to save it. Try to save it. Now, when you're trying to save your access sequence, we are getting a new request, which we call it as a workbench request, which we try to call it as a workbench request over here. Okay. Now, normally we know there are going to be two types of transport requests. One, we call it as a customization request. Second one is a workbench request. Till now, we were trying to see only customization request. But from here onwards, we are going to be working with this workbench request. So when you try to create a condition table and access sequence, the values will be saved in customization request. Okay, only for condition table and access sequence, you will be using a workbench request. For rest of the configuration, we save the data in customization request itself. So we have a difference for this. Why we need to create this customization and the workbench. So workbench request, we call it as a client independent, whereas customization request, we call it as a client dependent. So later, once we're done with this entire concepts, there will be job role what I need to explain. There I can give you that information in detail. So as of now, just try to remember when you try to create a table and access sequence, the values will be saved where in a workbench request. Now, once you see all this, try to create a new request over here, which I'm trying to use for listing functionality. For exclusion, I'm going to be creating another new request. So save it and click on continue option over here. So access sequence created, condition table assigned to it. Access sequence created and condition table assigned to it. Okay, so this is going to be our second step. That's going to be our second step. Now, third step, we need to work out with the condition type. Work with the condition type. Now, whatever code I'm trying to maintain it for the access sequence, I'm trying to use the same code for our condition type as well. So if you use the same code, there will be no problem because these values will be getting updated up in a separate table, and this condition type values will be getting updated up in a separate table. So there will be no problem. So here for condition type creation, I'm trying to use a code called as SLIS. So once you create a condition type, make sure you are going to be assigning access sequence for that. You're going to be assigning access sequence. Okay, same thing. Chain process, no need to break anything. Everything is going to be interlinked. So create a condition type, and to that particular condition type, make sure you assign an access sequence. Whatever access sequence we have created, we are going to be assigning it to it. Okay, now I'm just trying to show you this particular step. Now work with this particular step. Maintain listing and exclusion types. Maintain listing and exclusion types over here. That's the step we need to work out. If you click on it, maintain listing and exclusion types, this up the screen is going to be looking. These are all going to be the condition types, and to this condition types, you have assigned an access sequence for that. So what we need to do in this particular screen itself, we create an condition type. At the same time, to that condition type, we are going to be assigning an access sequence as well. We are going to be creating a condition type, and we are going to be assigning an access sequence as well for that. Now, how to create it? Now, simply take the help of new interest. So if you want to create your own condition type, so click on new interest. So maintain the code. So I'm trying to create it on the name of SLIS, which stands for listing. And for this, assign our access sequence. Assign our access sequence. That's it. So we are creating a condition type. At the same time, to this condition type, we are trying to assign our access sequence. So maintain it, click on enter, and try to save it. And this time you can see we are getting an customization request. Okay, only for condition table and access sequence you get workbench request, whereas rest of the configuration you get customization request. So here I'm just trying to create a new request over here. Create request. This stands for listing. There's a description what I'm trying to maintain it. And try to save it. So condition type created, access sequence assigned to it. Condition type created, access sequence assigned to it. Okay, now there's our third step. Now once you're done with this, next step we need to work out with the condition procedure over here. We need to work with the condition procedure. That is going to be the next step. Okay. Now, when we try to create a procedure, the code for procedure is going to be maximum of 6 letters, which can be alphanumerical combination. So here I'm just trying to create a procedure. So I'm just trying to maintain 5 letters over here. It stands for listing process. And to this procedure, what we do, we try to assign condition type. So whatever condition type you have created, we are going to be assigning this particular condition type over here. Okay, we need to perform this particular step. We need to perform this particular step over here. So create an procedure and make sure to that particular procedure you assign condition type. Now how it need to be done? So if you just come back, so in this particular screen, work with this particular step. Procedure for maintaining listing and exclusion. Procedures for maintaining listing and exclusion. So if you double click on it, so this how the screen is going to be looking. Okay, and this is going to be the standard procedure used for listing functionality. It's the standard procedure used. Now To create our own procedure in this particular screen, try to take the help of new entries. Just give me a sec. Click on new entries icon over here. Click on new entries icon and this up the screen is going to be looking. So whatever code you want to maintain for the procedure. So I'm just trying to maintain the code and I'm trying to maintain the description for that. Maintain the code, maintain the description. And now click on enter over here. Now what is the next thing? Now for this particular procedure, we need to assign the condition types. We need to assign the condition types. Now how to assign it? So select this particular procedure and click on control data under dialog structure. Select procedure and click on control data under dialog structure. And here we are going to be assigning the condition types. We are going to be assigning the condition types over here. Now how to assign it? Now see, so to assign the condition types, we try to take the help of new interest icon. We are going to be taking the help of new interest icon over here. This up the screen is going to be looking. And we have functionalities maintained for these fields. So every field got its own importance. I'm going to be explaining it in our pricing class. What you mean by the step functionality, counter functionality, everything. So right now, whenever you try to maintain step, make sure you maintain it as 10. Always step need to be maintained as 10 over here. Always step need to be maintained as 10, followed by counter. Counter, maintain it as 0. Now, why we are trying to maintain in this format? We have a settings for that. So maintain step as 10, counter as 0 by default. And then try to assign the condition type what we have created. Assign the condition type what we have created. Okay, and click on enter over here. So one entry has been chosen. So this is our entry. Maintain step as 10, counter as 0, and assign the condition type. Assign the condition type. Okay, now maintain this information and make sure you try to save it. Maintain this information and try to save it. And once again, we got a customization request. So in this particular request only, I'm trying to save the data. Done. So data was saved, condition type assigned to what? To our procedure. So we have created a procedure and to that particular procedure, we have assigned a condition type. Okay, we have assigned a condition type. So this is a step which you need to perform. Now, once you have created this particular procedure, now what is the next step? We need to activate it. If you need to use this particular procedure, we need to activate it. So we need to assign condition procedure to sales document type. Again, which sales document type you want this particular procedure need to be used. Again, that sales document type, we need to assign it. Okay, so we have created our document type on the name of YAOR. Yeah, YAOR was our document type. So I'm going to be assigning it to that particular document. I'm going to be assigning whatever procedure we have created against that particular document type. Okay, so assign procedure to our document type. There's a step you need to do it. Then only you can use this particular procedure against this document type. So against which document type you want this procedure need to be used against that document type, make sure you assign it. Make sure you assign it. Okay, now how to work on with this particular step. So come back. And work with this particular step. Activate listing and exclusion by sales document type. activate listing and exclusion by sales document type over here. This is the step. So if you click on it, this how the screen will be looking. List of sales document types are going to be getting displayed up. And to this document types, we need to assign our procedures. Now, first thing, you can't take the help of new interest icon over here because the sales document type is going to be in the display mode. You can't take the help of it. So make sure you try to click on position and select document type what we have created, YAOR. Okay, and to this YAOR, you can see by default there is a standard procedure assigned, A0001. There's a standard procedure because we copied our document type from standards. So what all assignments maintained for standard document type has been copied up over here. Whatever standards maintained for our document type has been copied up over here, which we need to replace it. So I'm just trying to delete this particular procedure and trying to assign the procedure what we have created. So we have created it on the name of list, slist. That's what I'm trying to assign it over here. Click on enter. So once we create our exclusion procedure, we can assign it over here. So right now, I'm just trying to maintain our listing procedure. So maintain this one, click on enter and try to save this one. And try to save this one. Okay, so data was saved, procedure has been assigned. Again, this particular document type. Procedure has been assigned, again, this particular document type. Now what? With this, what all configuration is required has been performed. Whatever configuration steps required has been done. So where we have discussed how to create a condition table, how to work out with the access sequence, condition type creation, condition procedure creation, and how to assign this particular procedure to the sales document type to activate it. Now, once you have activated it, now what is the next thing? Now, user is going to be maintaining the records. Condition record maintenance. Condition record maintenance. And this condition record maintenance will be maintained by our user, not consultant. Not consultants. Please remember this point. Record maintenance will be always maintained by our user, not the consultants. So what all steps we have discussed till now, all that steps will be maintained by the consultants. Now user is going to be coming into the picture. Okay. Now how to maintain the records, like we have a specific transaction code to work out, VB01 for create mode. VB01 for create mode over here. VB02 for change mode. And VB03 for display mode. These are the transaction codes to work out. VB01, VB02, and VB03 are the transaction codes. Okay, now how to go for it? So if we get into easy access, now in this easy access, get into logistics over here. Under logistics, sales and distribution is the module. Now if you work with the sales and distribution, we're focusing on master data. So get into this master data. So this condition record is going to be an example of your master data. So till now we have discussed few of the master data like customer master, material master, info record, customer material info record. We have looked into concept called as BOM. These are the four master data what we have discussed. So this is going to be the fifth one, which is going to be condition records, which we call it as condition records. So to maintain the records, get into sales and distribution, master data. When you expand it, products. So expand this particular products over here. And here we are working with listing and exclusion. That's going to be the one. Listing and exclusion. So when you expand this particular folder, listing and exclusion. So we have these transaction codes to work out. VB01, VB02, VB03. These are the transaction codes to work out. Okay, so I'm trying to maintain the record using a transaction code called as VB01. We're trying to maintain the record using a transaction code called as VB01 over here. So when you double click on it, this how the screen is going to be looking. This how the screen is going to be looking over here. Now what is asking? It's asking us basically to enter the condition type. Using which condition type you're going to be maintaining the record, we need to enter that condition type information over here. We need to maintain that condition type information. So if you can't remember the condition type, click on it. What all condition types we have created, that list will be displayed. Now try to select it. So this is a condition type what we have created. So maintain this condition type and click on this key combination. So by doing this, what happened? Tables will be displayed. Whatever tables we have assigned, that table will be getting displayed up over here. So using this particular table, now user is going to be maintaining the records using this particular table. So what is the table combination we maintain? Customer and material over here. So select this table, click on this continue option over here. And this how the screen is going to be looking. This how the screen is going to be looking. Okay. Now in this particular screen, what we are going to be updating it. Like first thing, we need to maintain the customer. Who is the customer to whom you're going to be maintaining the limitations? So customer number. So I'm having this particular customer. So I'm trying to select this one. There's a customer to whom I want to activate it. And this record is going to be valid till what date? Maintain that date information over here. Maintain that date information. Now, once you maintain this date information, now enter the materials you want to sell it. Enter the materials which you want to sell it to that particular customer. So I'm trying to maintain few of the materials. Now we have these materials. So out of these materials, customer can place an order only for few products. Out of these materials, customer can place an order only for few products. Now let's say he can place an order for QLED TV. This is what I'm trying to maintain. 1 second. There's this one product which customer can place an order for. Now second material, he can place an order for HD TV. And third one, I'm trying to maintain it as a keyboard. These are the only three materials where customer can place an order for. So apart from these, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it is going to be getting rejected straight away. Only the values maintained in the record will be sold. Apart from that, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it's going to be getting rejected. So maintain this information, try to save this particular record over here. Done. Now test it. The last and final step is going to be the testing. Without testing, we don't know whether functionality has been mapped perfectly or not. So create an order VA01. An order need to be created, use what document type. YAOR, because against this YAOR only we have assigned it. So maintain that document type and test it. So this is our customer. So I'm maintaining that customer number. Enter. Now see, so I'm just trying to get into item overview so that it is going to be more clear. Enter the material. Now HDTV 15 quantity. This material will be sold because this material is maintained in the record. Now QLED TV. QLED TV 2 quantity. Now click on enter. QLED TV is not created. Okay, that's fine. Why it has been not created, I don't know. Now I'm just trying to sell keyboard. Keyboard. Now you can see whatever products are there in the record is being sold. Now if you try to sell another product, computer, CCOM 45 quantity, click on enter, and there's a message we are getting it. Computer is not listed, therefore not sold, because this material has been not maintained in the record, so customer cannot place an order for that. Customer cannot place an order for that. Whatever products maintained in the record, only those products are going to be sold. Apart from that, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it's going to be getting rejected. That's how it works out. Now see, if its customer is trying to place an order for monitor, and there's a message we are getting it. Okay, there's a message we are getting it. Material is not listed and therefore cannot be sold. So if you want to add some more materials, you can also do that. You can simply get into change mode, VB02 transaction code, not O2. Get into 02, get into details, and try to maintain it. What all products you want to sell, you can maintain all that materials over here. It can be done. So that's how it's going to be working. That's how it's going to be working. Your listing process. What all products you want to sell it to the customer, we are trying to maintain it in the form of record. The products maintained in the record only will be sold. Apart from that, if it's trying to place an order for any other material, it is going to be getting rejected completely. Okay. So this is what I wanted to explain, how to work with this listing functionality. How to work out with this listing functionality. Now, next concept we need to work out is going to be exclusion. This one I'm going to be talking up in our coming class tomorrow. How to work out with the exclusion functionality. Okay. So in the meantime, I try to share this particular notes and the videos. Please work it out and let me know. We can continue this one.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Now, can you explain the what is condition procedure and condition type in normal language access
Now,
sequence?
okay. Now see, we don't have any specific definitions maintained for that. Now, we have a condition type. Why we need to create a condition type? Because to maintain the records. Now, in case when you try to go for maintenance of the records, VB01, here, what is the first thing it's asking us? It's asking us to enter the condition type. This is just a parameter used for maintenance of the record. In case if you don't maintain that condition type over here, click on continue, you will be not able to maintain the record itself. Okay, so condition type is used for maintenance of the record. In the same way, access sequence also is going to be used for maintenance of the record. Now, this class may not be seems to be very clear for you, but I try to make sure it is more clear in your pricing functionalities, because there are a lot of fields which I have not explained at the moment, because that is going to be totally irrelevant for us right now. So later classes, it's going to be more clear for you. Just give me 2 more classes time, so I try to explain more about it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, rebate and listing are 2 different concepts. You can't club it. There are 2 different scenarios itself. Rebates are nothing but cashbacks, and this is going to be a different concept where we are trying to maintain the limitations of how you need to sell it. Okay, thank you guys.